Alright, time for Knuckles stage number 3. This is kind of the first one that I don't really like because it is really cramped in nature. We don't have any wide open areas like we did in the previous two anymore, so it's going to make hunting for emeralds just a little bit more difficult. But it looks like I've gotten pretty lucky here right off the bat because I'm getting a yellow signal all the way up here. I mean, the main gimmick of this level is that what we do, wow, found that, is that we can control the water level throughout the rest of the level with these 3 switches right here. And normally you have to go down below within the water and find the emerald pieces there. But I found that one kind of by complete accident, kind of by complete luck. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go for emerald pieces right off the bat. So there's a very important upgrade in here that I want to get not only for this level, I mean it isn't really all that essential in this level, although it will help us with these underwater segments, but towards the end of the game, in the end game actually, it becomes very, very critical. It makes the end game much easier if you have this specific upgrade. So I'm going to try to go for that right quick. I think I remember where it is. I think we just have to keep taking this path and hope that I don't run out of air. We have to go up after this. Yeah. Should be right up here. Yeah, we're going to hear the ever so disturbing drowning music, but there we go, the air necklace. An oxygen tank necklace. You can now breathe underwater. Yeah, this is... Oh man, this is so helpful because these underwater segments can be very stressful because, well, of the music. You know, Sonic games have been doing that for a very long time. And also just because, well, like I said later on, we're going to have an underwater segment that is quite lengthy. So having the ability as Knuckles, and it's something that we play as Knuckles, to breathe underwater is going to be very, very helpful. So that's what I wanted to go for right off the bat, just to have that. And maybe to show guys that maybe might be playing along. I don't know how many people actually do that, but I would recommend getting that upgrade 100%. It's going to be very, very useful. And it's completely optional. I mean, we kind of had to go out of our way in order to find it. But back to the emerald pieces here. I got very lucky with finding that first one. It looks like I have a signal on the next one already. What I like to do for this level, again, I don't really like it because it's very cramped and we can't kind of free-range glide around to get a pop on the radar very easily. But what I like to do is keep the water drained all the way at the 3rd level, and then try to get around from that, because I think the water, it's pretty intrusive. It doesn't really help out all that much. There are some scenarios where the water has to be up in order to progress and get somewhere. Let's go ahead and get a hit right here. Again, don't really like this stage all that much, but under the vertical line of skulls, okay. There are quite a few skulls that kind of adorn the walls here. So it's probably one of these I'm gonna have to dig for. So let's go ahead and see. There's like 3 skulls, right? Oh, by the way, we can also pause, and you can see all of the hints that you've got so far. So under the vertical line of skulls. So if you go up to the maximum 3 hints, you can actually just pause it and take a look at all your hints that way. But I cannot seem to get more than a green around here, unfortunately. I know it's not down there, because that's where we went to get the air necklace. Wait, did I get a yellow? Yeah, I did, so maybe it's up higher? Hold on just a second. Yeah, something's a little weird here. So I'm getting a yellow, so maybe it's right below here? Yeah, it's around here somewhere. Camera being a tad bit wonky, as it is wont to do in Sonic games. Okay. So, is it going to be... I thought I already went down there, though. Oh, is that a different shaft? There might be multiple ones. I don't think there are, though. Let's go ahead and try down here, though. Yeah, there sure is. I guess there are multiple ones and I just didn't know about it. I'm lucky that I got the one that I wanted right off the bat, but here we go. Just dig. The only thing about the digging is that it can be kind of annoying. There we go, got it. Still got a bonus on top of that, still got a tight bonus. Alright, let's get back to the main room, just some more gliding around. I guess this one isn't so bad. I would say the immediate Knuckles after, the Knuckles level after this one is kind of the worst one in the game, in my opinion. This one's just kind of a prelude to that, I believe. Okay, getting another green already, and another yellow. Yeah, you know, maybe this level really isn't all that bad. I remember having a lot more negative memories about this one, shall we say, as a kid. Probably just because this is the first Knuckles level, again, where you can't just kind of glide around and get a nice pop on the radar that way. But okay, let's see. Getting the red over there in the center, huh? And there it is, yes, it's kind of floating there. That was pretty easy. I think I got pretty lucky with the emerald placement in that one. I think we'll get a decent grade, even though I went out of my way to increase our time in order to get that air necklace. Hey, above 10,000. Maybe a C? No, a B.
Yeah,
wow.
I feel good.
If I hadn't have gone for the air necklace, I might have gotten an A on that. With that type of emerald placing. Pretty lucky, pretty lucky.
Sheesh. There always seems to be a lot of police around when you don't need them. Tails, any news yet?
For some reason, I'm not getting a signal from the 6 remaining Chaos Emeralds. Maybe Eggman took the emeralds into outer space.
Hey guys, long time no see. I must have got lost in the mines. Looking for the Master Emerald pieces was tougher than I thought it would be. Where are we anyway? Hey, where are you going?
Move aside, Knuckles!
I managed to find the transcripts between Eggman and the president in the government computer. I'm following the president's limo right now. If we get into the limo, we can trace the call to find Eggman.
Okay, let's meet up there.
Hey! Wait for me, Tails!
You can kind of tell from that cutscene, if it wasn't obvious already, that this game suffers from what a lot of games were suffering from at the beginning of the 2000s when the advent of voice acting in video games was becoming more and more prevalent, that the English voices didn't exactly match up with the Japanese voice syncing. I remember that being a common problem in Final Fantasy X as well, so that kind of adds to the data presentation. But again, I feel... I feel as if the data presentation, I don't know, I think it can be charming in a way, and, understandable as well with the time that the game was created and things like that. So I don't think it's too much of a detriment to the game itself. I would rather kind of evaluate the plot as it stands on its own. Some people will claim that there are some holes, but I watched a really interesting video rather recently, and I can't remember who actually made it. I'm going to have to look that up. They kind of explained a lot of discrepancies in the plot that we'll see later that seem like discrepancies in the English version, but it's actually due to poor mistranslation and just not getting the entire story because people usually don't read the loading screens that you can get whenever you load up a new level from the main menu, where the character kind of monologues and gives a summary of what they're thinking and what they're feeling and things like that. But I suppose we'll get to that later. I guess right now I should actually talk about what we're doing. Yeah, well, I'm just ignoring what's on the screen right now, aren't I? Yeah, we have a little car driving segment right here. I don't really know why. I don't really like it that much. It's just kind of here. We're going to have a segment like this in the Dark Story as well, with Rouge, of all people, because that would make the most sense. But yeah, this is just a nice little driving segment where we have to catch up with the President's limo. It doesn't seem like a great idea to try to chase down the President's limo, because, I'm not even going to go there. My mind went to dark places. I'm not going to touch that one. I will say, though, I've always kind of liked the aesthetic of this one. I'm a sucker. If you've watched any of my other playthroughs on any other game that I've played, pretty much.
Almost, Sonic. Just a few more minutes.
Yeah, just almost getting there. You know that I really like when we're suspended, like, high over the sky or, like, high over a body of water or something like that. I'm a sucker for level design like that or just visual design like that. So I really like how we just have this never-ending road that's just going over this massive body of water with no rhyme or reason to it, just twists and turns everywhere. What a marvel of engineering, am I right? Back to the actual mechanics of the level. What we have to do is we have to find the president in his limo before we run out of time, but it's really not an issue. I mean, getting the hang of the controls for the cart can be a little annoying at first, but really it's nothing that isn't too foreign if you played something like a Mario Kart. Again, it doesn't control nearly as well as Mario Kart, but the principle is still the same. Zoom forward, try to make the tight turns. I just wish the drifting was a bit more obvious how you get to the drifting. I think what you have to do is, you have to let go of the gas, and then you just have to, steer after that. As long as you don't straighten out too much, you'll have the drift yet again, so there you go. In this mode, in the base mode, it is not too difficult to catch up to the president whatsoever, but when you try to do the alternate missions for this level, yeah, they can be painful. You have missions such as not hitting the cars and not hitting the rails, which is the big one. Ugh. And again, another reason why I was never able to get A ranks across all the levels in this game, despite my love of this game. And get the C. Oh, I don't really know what I could have done better. Well, I could have driven better. That's the obvious one, right? Probably could have gotten more rings as well. I was blabbering on too much and probably left some rings on the track back there, but... Oh, look at that. Well, I can now play kart racing with my friends, because whenever I do have friends over and we actually want to play video games, and that video game happens to be a kart racer, Sonic Adventure 2 is the first thing that pops in my mind.
The country is in turmoil.
Not really.
Our financial communities are impacted, and our satellite communications are down. An emergency meeting has been called. Mr. President, this is a national crisis.
Spare me the details. Exactly just what is it that you want? Dr. Eggman.
Well, let's just get down to business then, shall we, Mr. President? I won't bore you with all the details since I know you are a very busy man. Mr. President, my demands are quite simple. Surrender to the Eggman Empire and make no attempts to resist. Otherwise, your country will cease to exist. You have 24 hours to give me your answer.
No way!
What the?
Sonic,
Eggman Empire. Yeah, right.
What the heck's going on here?
Don't worry,
no.
Mr. President.
What did you
Everything's
do?
under control. Just leave it to us. Got it, Tails?
I got it! He's transmitting from the space colony ARC.
Okay, let's move it!
Wait up, Sonic!
Hey, you!
Mr.
Wait!
President, we're receiving an incoming signal from our agent.
Yeah, one of the reasons I prefer the hero story before the dark one is because it's much simpler. You know, you're viewing the entirety of the plot, but it's from a much more simplified lens, and the quote-unquote plot holes are not too apparent in the hero story. It's only until we get to the dark story that they become a bit more obvious here with the English translation, unfortunately.
Well, you saw them too, right?
Well, yeah.
We should be able to get into outer space from there.
But at the same time, I should stress that I feel like the plot doesn't take itself too seriously to where having those plot holes in the English translation is such a, like a game breaker, a plot breaker, you know? We're not in Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic 06 levels yet to where, God, everyone is just so serious all the time. You know, there's still like an edge of humor to this game, and I really appreciate that. Or maybe like an air of levity, I should say. And here we go, another Tail stage. We're back to the awesome music that I love. So this is the first full level that we're going to get to play with the booster, and it's pretty good because these levels can be pretty tricky. As I mentioned during the last Tails level, kind of the one bad thing about the movement of the Tails mech stages is that the jumping can be a tad bit stiff and it can be easy to fall off. And that's pretty obvious in this level. It's not going to be too obvious. Actually, rather strangely, during the last few levels that we're going to have as Tails, maybe he just gets one more, I kind of forget. Because, well, we're going to outer space, and gravity's a tad wonky there, if I am to spoil the levels for just a second. But in this one, yeah, we don't have the reduced gravity or anything to that effect, so the jumping can be just a tad bit more tricky. But we still have the boosters, so I don't think it's anything too bad. Plus, I don't think I've died in this game yet, and you know, I'm not like some MLG super pro speedrunner at this game, so I feel like if I haven't died yet, and I haven't had like a, shall we say, like a super cheap death quite yet, I don't think the problem would be all that obvious then. And now look, as soon as I've said that, I'm definitely 100% going to die. Didn't that happen, like, in the original Sonic Adventure? Like, and as I was saying that, I actually died by getting hit in midair. That wasn't me reacting to that. I just, like, predicted it a split second before it happened. Like, how am I cursed like this? This happened in the first Sonic Adventure. I'm trying to defend you, game. Okay, let's try going this way first. I can shoot this guy out of there. There we go. I cannot believe that actually happened. Like, I had to process it right quick. And yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It can be a tad bit difficult to time your jumps right there. What I should have done is hold the booster just a little bit longer until I can see my shadow on the platform so I know that I'm actually going to land on it just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot his bullets out of midair, and then we'll try this again and I'll be a tad bit more careful. Need to stop speed running when I just said that I'm not a speed running pro, but you have to forgive me for that one. I want to go fast. I like to go fast. Let's see. So the main gimmick of this level is, yeah, we're going to have to destroy the Eggman Pyramid, which laughably has his face all over it. I love it. Did we get a wide shot of that pyramid while I was talking? I think we did. I think that's that pyramid in the background. Of course, Eggman has just put his face all over it. He's defiled, you know, the ancient burial grounds of an ancient culture. With priceless artifacts thrown all about with his ugly mug. This is how freaking egotistical he is. And while we're at it, you know, I think this is the first game where, at least here in the States, where Dr. Eggman did indeed fully embrace his identity as Dr. Eggman, as you see some praise down there. We can't break just yet, we're gonna have to be back later. And I want to take this moment to say that that's something that I really appreciated about the Sonic movie that came out last year. It was about a year ago, actually. It was the last movie that I ever saw in theaters. It'll probably be the last movie that I see for a very long time in theaters because of, well, you know, if you know. Of course, everyone knows at this point. But I really appreciate how they made the rather seamless transition between him being called Dr. Robotnik in that one, being his real name, Ivo Robotnik or Ivo Kintopor. Or was that just a comics thing? I get kind of confused. But I just like the... Oh, come on, camera. I just like how they went from him being actually known as Dr. Robotnik to kind of explaining how he got the nickname Eggman within the movie canon. I really appreciate that. It's kind of the same thing that happened in Sonic Adventure. Of course, over in Japan, he's always been known as Dr. Eggman, but over here in the States, they kind of had to make a justification for why he was called Eggman over Robotnik, and I always just got the idea that he started embracing the name in Sonic Adventure. He still started, I think he still called himself Dr. Robotnik at the beginning of that game, but Sonic and Tails kind of teased him by calling him Eggman and things like that. By the time we get over to Sonic Adventure 2, well, he's just kind of embraced the name of Eggman completely. Like, I don't think they ever called him Dr. Robotnik ever again within the game's canon here in the United States, which is fine. I mean, people will always like Robotnik more because it was the original, I understand that, but, you know, you have to give some respect and some credence to the original Japanese name as well, you know? Yeah, this little guy right here. Can't do anything with that right now. That requires another upgrade called the Mystic Melody, which is the only upgrade that every single character can get, actually, so... Yeah, I tried it alright. I kind of made a fool out of myself earlier when I died twice to freaking gaps in the floor by not doing it, but hey, there you go. And while I'm at it, I should also say, when I'm talking about continuity, I really appreciate the continuity between the original Sonic Adventure and SA2 here. I think this is the last time... Well, that's not completely true. I mean, we did have a story, an ongoing story that kind of existed from Sonic Adventure to, I suppose, Shadow the Hedgehog. You know, there was that four-game streak where the games were building on top of themselves in a plot manner. And I really appreciate it, especially here from SA1 to SA2, because I feel like Tails' character development, where he's much more confident and he doesn't really need Sonic to do everything. You know, he's got this mech of his own invention, and he does everything himself. He doesn't do everything himself, but he does a lot of things by himself. He's really grown. You know, things like that. The progression of Dr. Robotnik embracing the name of Eggman.
I did it!
Some of the events in Sonic Adventure being referenced in this game, such as Tails having the last Chaos Emerald that Eggman doesn't have, which was rewarded to him for saving Station Square back at the end of SA1, things like that.
Very good!
And other elements that we'll get to, too, as we get into the in-game, how the more subtle connections to SA1 really start being apparent, but I really just appreciate that continuity. You know, one of the biggest shames of modern Sonic games is that there literally is no continuity. There is no line to draw from Sonic Lost World to Sonic Forces Zero at all, and it's kind of disappointing, you know. But now that Tails has taken care of the early work, it's time for yet another Sonic level, and boy does it feel good to go fast after a Knuckles and after a Tails level. Let's see if I can jump through two of these at one time. Although this is the first Sonic level where you can't just blaze through it, unfortunately. Up to this point with with levels rather, such as City Escape, and Metal Harbor, and Green Jungle, I think it was called, you just gotta go full blast and go blah, blah, blah. But this one you kinda have to slow down a little bit because they're puzzles. We have these well, not really puzzles, but more elements that kind of make you slow down and kind of wait and approach a situation a bit more carefully, which is more akin to what the original 2D games actually were. Such as that one right there, where we have to hit an hourglass and then we have to make it to the make it through the door before the hourglass expires and we're not able to get through the door anymore. Now this might be where I finally have to break out the spin dash and actually use it, because some of these can be rather tricky to get through, as the gaps are going to end up getting larger and larger. And is that a gamma right there? Yeah, that was a gamma, man. Like, that's something that was always so bizarre to me, is that we just have gammas sitting around here. But we're going to get another upgrade, and it is the Bounce Bracelet. Press the circle button while in mid-jump to use a bounce attack. We can press it again to jump higher. Yeah, this is a great one. Watch this. I love this. Boom, 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 boom. And I love the vibration that I get on the controller when I do this as well. So we're just going to go ahead and kill the gammas. You know, no comments from anyone about, okay, well, you know, that robot that was a huge reason why we were victorious in the last game. He's just kind of here, and we're just going to kill him, and that's going to be that. So there you go. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Whew. And with the somersault, I'm able to kind of clip through the door and make it in there. But the second little puzzle-like element that we have right here is that we're going to have to find these keys and put them in those locks right there in order to open some doors as well. I think we only have to do that one more time within this stage, though, so it's not all too bad. Because I'm just going to go ahead and zoom past all of that and not worry about it any problem. Is that a ghost? What is a ghost doing here? Excuse me? Get off me! I mean, I understand why they were in Pumpkin Hill. I mean, that whole thing was kind of creepy, but why are they here? Although I guess pyramids are kind of creepy as well, you know, they are essentially massive graves, so hey, what are you going to do? Okay, so I believe... Yeah, there's our key right there. I think I'm going to want to take out these gammas before we pick this guy up. And yeah, this is kind of where, you know, people are like, oh, I don't want to slow down, you know, I want to go fast, things like that, and that's fair enough. You know, I'm not going to equate a segment like this to a segment in the 2D games where you have to pick up something, backtrack, and like put it into a door. And this one, it's kind of bizarre as well, because I don't believe there's ever a segment like this, not only in the rest of this level. I think this is the only time we have to do this in this level. Well, this mechanic is only here twice, but in the rest of the game, there's not really a mechanic like this, so it's kind of, you know? But, regardless, just gonna go ahead and place it right there, and I think we'll be good. I think, you know, it's all kind of downhill from here. And I'm definitely gonna spin dash now. We're gonna hit that guy, we're gonna spin dash. And spin dash is a pretty advanced technique in this game. As you can see, we go substantially faster, though. No, let go. Than if we were just running. But did I get it? Because if I didn't, I'm gonna have to make the walk of shame all the way back there. That's gonna be embarrassing. Okay, no, I got it. There we... Okay, I guess I actually just ran out of time right there. Is that what happened? What actually happened right there? Did I just, like, fall into a gap? That's never happened before to me. That's kind of bizarre.